Hey everyone, it's Jim, Old Coot Camper. Hey, if you're thinking about camping or even just visiting the western part of Michigan's UP and you only have a few days, I'll show you some of the best things to do on your short trip. Hang on. From my home in southeastern Wisconsin, I headed north, way north, to the Porcupine Mountain Wilderness Area in the western part of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. This sparsely populated area is short on people and roads, so be prepared to spend time in your vehicle, but long on natural beauty, including the spectacular Lake Superior. I stayed at Union Bay Campground, the only state campground in the Porkies with electric. And while it's not exactly a 5-star resort, who can complain when the big lake is just a stone's throw away? It did take us a hot minute to figure out the most efficient way to set up, but we do have a little bit of privacy around the campfire anyway. And that lake, it's just a pitching wedge away. Number one on my list of things to do, explore waterfalls and lakes. Got a little late start this morning, 8:45 at Presque Isle Trail. It's what, 2.2 miles, something like that? Waterfalls, the whole bit. It's gonna be cool. Big trees, small nuts. The trail is a loop on both sides of Presque Isle River. The west side where you arrive is a bit more manicured. The east side is a little bit more rugged. In fact, that eastern trail ultimately crosses the riverbed. And I'm not sure if this was spring and the water was really flowing, whether you could make it across there. This trail will ultimately lead you down to Lake Superior, but I got water on the camera lens and that didn't turn out so well. Just finished our trip at Presque Isle Trail. 2.88 miles. Took us 2 hours and 17 minutes, but we stopped and took a lot of pictures. It's just absolutely beautiful. Highly recommended to try this trail. Right down the road from Union Bay Campground, and really whether you're camping or not, if you're in the area, you have to put Lake of the Clouds on your bucket list, on your to-do list. First of all, it's ADA compliant, so anybody can get to the lookout point, and you get this incredibly spectacular view of not only the lake, but the Porcupine Mountain Wilderness Area, and you get a really good idea of just how vast this place is. Although we didn't do it on this day, we ultimately got back to Lake of the Clouds and hiked down to that little bridge you see way down there. All right, we're back at Lake of the Clouds, and we're gonna try a portion of the Mirror Lake Trail. It's an 8.4 out and back trail, but we're just gonna go down and back up just to the bridge at the bottom. You'll see. All right, left. Well, the trail starts out easily enough with a slight decline, but soon it gets really steep, and you know that what goes down must come up. Ultimately, you gain about 300 feet of elevation on the way up in about a half a mile. The view from the bridge is pretty cool, and there's more to this hike, but this was the day that we were leaving for home and we had to get going, so we ended the hike here and up the hill we went. About halfway up from the bridge, this incline is no joke. That little bridge is where we were, about 300 feet below. So, last event of day 2 of my UP adventure, is Agate Falls Scenic Site. I have no idea if this was worth an hour driving to or not. We'll check it out. The path to the falls overlook is a boardwalk and ADA compliant. But if you want to get closer, you got to do a little bit of scrambling. Watch your head. Woo! That's a little bit of a falls. Well, we just did the Agate Falls Trail. Did some death-defying hiking. Probably not the smartest thing in the world, but it sure was fun. Another beautiful falls is Bond Falls. This one's easier to get to than either Presque or the Agate Falls Scenic Site, fully ADA compliant. You can get really good views, and if you want, you can actually walk up and around the entire falls. Really cool. Number 2 on my list of things to do in western UP is simply explore the Keweenaw Peninsula. This is a large arm of land that juts into Lake Superior and is home to the sister cities of Houghton and Hancock. There are tons of things to see and do here. Frankly, too many to list. But like I said earlier, be prepared to drive a ways. We were just looking for a breakfast place and stumbled on the Copper Range Family Restaurant, which happened to be right along the Keweenaw Waterway, which splits the peninsula in half, and we were lucky enough to catch the lift bridge in action. The restaurant actually started as a passenger depot for trains, and it's pretty cool. It's got some memorabilia and things in there, and quite frankly, food is pretty good too. Our journey took us over the lift bridge, up through Hancock, as we made our way to the very tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula, Copper Harbor. If you're up in this neck of the woods, you probably want to run over to Eagle Harbor and visit Jam Pot. But be aware, regardless of what your GPS tells you, many of the roads are dirt, and depending upon the time of the year, may not be in very good condition. The Jam Pot sells bakery, confections, fruit cakes, and preserves, and it's run by the Porcupine Abbey monks. It's also quite famous for its thimbleberry jam. So we just got done with the jam pot. We got thimbleberry jam, little pricey for 25 bucks. And we've got this really cool raspberry chocolate brownie thing that's really awesome. Just a little ways north on the road from the jam pot is a scenic turnout, and you just get this terrific view of Lake Superior. Water is so clear. You can see right down, and you can see just a few feet out, sand. As you continue your journey on Highway 26, which hugs the Lake Superior coastline, you'll go through the little town of Eagle Harbor and ultimately to Brockway Mountain, the highest point on the Keweenaw Peninsula. It was literally so windy, I had to hold the phone with both hands and almost got blown over. The road will lead you right into Copper Harbor from there. And honestly, there wasn't a lot going on, but if you want to get to Isle Royale, which is an island in Lake Superior and is a wildlife preserve like no other, this is where you have to be. I plan on coming back for no other reason than to see that. Mining was and is a huge part of the culture of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and no visit would be complete without visiting a mine. Now that we've done a quick tour of Copper Harbor, we're going to head over to the Delaware Mine for a self-guided tour into an 1880s style copper mine. Should be exciting. Before you can head down into the mine, you have to watch a little video. It tells you what you're going to experience as you walk down 100 stairs into the mine that operated from 1847 to 1887. 100 steps down. One man held the drill while the other two pounded it with 12-pound sledgehammers. Holes were drilled 6 to 8 feet deep, put in the shape of the tunnel. Holy cow, they did that by hand. As you can see, walking through the mine is not particularly difficult. It's well lit, although there is an area that they dim so you can see how it really was back in the 1800s. And I'll tell you, you certainly get an appreciation for how difficult working conditions were back in the day. Man, these guys are one tough breed of cat. So this is the area that they've dimmed. This is the light you would see if you were a miner. How the hell could they see anything down here? We just got out of the Delaware Mine. It is so cool down there. You got to do it if you're here. How those guys worked in the 1800s like this, they were way tougher than we are. And if you have glasses when you come out, you can't see anything. But wow, that was cool. If walking down and then back up a bunch of stairs into a cold, dark mine isn't your cup of tea, you can visit the Delaware Mine above ground and look at all of the old buildings that are still around and a lot of the old pieces of equipment that are still there. After 72 hours, it was time to head home, and that just wasn't enough time to explore all the things you can do in the western UP. There are other mines to see, breweries, more hiking, more waterfalls, you name it. If you get the chance, visit this enchanted land. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Thank you for watching, and until next time, everyone, carry on. Cheers!